first. It's called first because we have different sites with the same name. Like we have Buddhkada 2, which was a grave culture site. Then we have Buddhkada 3, which is also a Buddhist site. A small site with intact stupas, mini stupas, but still intact. Buddhkada first carries its importance because it was constructed, or it was built during the time of the Mauryan king Ashoka, and it was due to these efforts of King Ashoka that Buddhism started prevailing in this region. So it was 3rd century BC, more or less. This stupa was erected. It was a series of Dharmaraja stupa, and from there on Buddhism started here as he was propagating Buddhism. Onwards it got royal patronage in this region of Odiyana, Gandhara, or Swastika. There are several different names written in the history. And then the Ashokan kings, the Kushan kings, Kanishk in general gave royal patronage to Buddhism, and he erected a lot of stupas, monasteries. We came to know about all this from the accounts of the ancient Chinese and other travelers like Fahian, Yun Song, Sung Yun, several other in 5th century, 6th century, 7th century AD. They visited this area, especially those in the 3rd and 4th century AD, highlighted like it was the main seat of knowledge and learning for the Buddhist monks and students, and it was the most sacred place, and they used to come here for pilgrimage. It is mentioned in their accounts. Later on it was identified as the monastery of Ta Lo, and being the biggest seat or the capital, not just it was a monastery, like people, a sort of a university for the Buddhists to come and learn, but also a very sacred Buddhist place. So it was identified as the monastery of Ta Lo, and the sacred Buddhist site of Buddhkada first by then was very sacred, and tourists from all over the world were coming, and they identify it as Mingchali. By then was the capital, which is the current day Mingora city, the commercial hub of Swat. So it was the capital, most probably going back to Masaga, the period of Masaga, which was attacked by Alexander the Great. So it's a city that keep on existing over the centuries. And talking of its religious importance, first it was erected by Ashoka the Great, a series of Dharmaraja stupas, very sacred. Then it got a royal patronage in different times, with its capital monastery as a university. People keep on coming and learning, so it had a fame all over the Buddhist areas in the world. So this is its major importance. And the other important thing in general, if we consider an archaeological remain is a different story, but a living existing monument or a living existing structure, if that be for a religion, for political purpose, for commercial or residential purpose, cannot survive for a period of like 800 to 900 years. So this site is honored to remain active from 1st to more or less end of 7th century, from 3rd century BC more or less to 7th century AD. So which is more or less 900 years almost. This shows the importance of this stupa, the monastery, and its surrounding existence, which unfortunately we cannot find because it is a city now. All we could manage is to acquire it and cover up this area. And there was a great interest of the Italians working here. Was Professor Tucci, who went to Tibet, and there he know like this is not the origination of Sambhava, and he have to go somewhere else. So following the trail, he came here. It was by then an independent state, not a part of Pakistan. It was called the Yusufzai state of Swat, or Mumlikat-e Khudadad Riyasat-e Swat. And the then king, ruler of Swat, Miagul Abdul Haq Janzib, was the ruler. He was generous enough, kind enough, because he was pretty much learned, and allowed them to work here on the trail of the Buddhist sites. So from there they started, they regrouped as a mission, which is called Italian Archaeological Mission, still existing. And seasonally they take NOC from us, and they keep on working here. So they have some contribution. From there on they came to know like this is the birthplace of Bodhisattva Sambhava, and this is the place of King Indra Bodhi, and this is Bazira, and this is Masaga, where Alexander the Great attacked and stayed there for a certain period of time. From there he identified from some of the rock erects like this is Swastu, this is Odiana. So there is a great contribution. Apart from that, the government is doing a great job. Like recently we acquired a lot of these Buddhist archaeological sites. Mostly there are some Muslim, some mosques, ancient mosques, but mostly the Buddhist sites, and this ancient city of Bazira, which is also called Alexander City. But mostly these Buddhist stupas and monasteries are acquired by the government. We are fencing it, as you can see around, just to give it some protection. Then we'll have tourist information centers for the tourists, and tourist facilitation centers. They might include some restrooms and few others. So the government is working pretty actively to project its heritage that we have. And that is also, if there's any question, please.
Yeah. What are the special finds that Italians got from here?
We got several. We got some loins here that show this, like you've seen a model of a stupa, which in fact is of Sayyid Sharif stupa. But here we have these loins guarding the stupa. Plus we have a lot of Buddha life scenes from here. Plus we have this Athena figure coming from here, which shows this this lineage, I would say, a sort of connection of the Greeks and the local art that mixed up to form this Odiana or Gandhara art. But most of the Buddha life stories and scenes of Buddhism were found from here, which fortunately is now a part of Swat Museum. Not all of them are displayed in Swat Museum, but most of them lies in the reserve collection of Swat Museum, which is very rich. In fact, I think more than 10 times more to that of, I'm not from the museum, so I don't know much of that, but what I've heard is more than 10 times of the exhibited material that we have in the museum lies in the reserve collection.
Can I interfere? Some of the basic materials from Swat are distributed in other museums of Pakistan, like Peshawar University Museum, I think so, Peshawar Museum, in some of the Islamabad Museum, some of them are in National Museum, Karachi. There are a lot of materials.
Not just that, I'll add to our respected friends' words. During the state period, when the state was merged into Pakistan back in 1969, whatever was excavated, the traditional way was to have half of the antiques going to Italian and half will remain here. So it might be accidentally, but luckily they have not spoiled those material, and we have a Swat Museum in Rome now. Whenever you happen to visit Rome, please do ask for Swat Museum, and you'll find the same material coming from Buddhgara first, Saidu Sharif Stupa, Bodhgada 3, from Barikot, from Amloktara, from Shingardara Stupa. So we have our representation in Europe also. At the present, Dr. Luca Maria Oliveri is working here as the director, but I'm talking of the founding director, who was Professor Gossipi Tucci, followed by Dr. Facena and few others. The current one is Dr. Luca Maria Oliveri, who is also serving for UNESCO and is a professor at Italy also, and assisted by a very young and enthusiastic lady. She is Dr. Elisa Yori, currently working as a lecturer or assistant professor in University of Germany. And she has done her PhD from Swat. She is very fond of wearing the traditional dresses, and she is learning Pashto very fast. So we're lucky enough to have such dedicated people who can join us and work together with us, shoulder to shoulder.
Near time coming Sri Lankan of this searching coming.
Sorry?
Any other Sri Lankan group came here, no?
No, people are coming. I mentioned earlier that lady from Sri Lanka was working for UNESCO, the kids. UNICEF, sorry.
What's name?
She is known as Annie Mary. She's pretty popular here also because she worked in Pakistan also. And there are a few other people. I met some people from Colombo. That was accidental because I was just inspecting some development work. And I came to know about some foreigners there, so I invited them for a cup of tea. And they happen to be Sri Lankans. So we are looking forward with this step that we have taken, both the governments, like to be a joint venture, because Buddhism is the main religion of Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka, we know, are very peaceful and people with brave hearts. All we came to know about people with brave heart is we have seen them in cricket, growing up, seeing Sanat Jasuria and all these people. So I hope these ties continue and we people regroup just to promote our national heritage and your sacred Buddhist sites.
Yeah, because what we really thought, to go around and see all these things before getting into the documentary. Documentary is to show other people the valuable Buddhist heritage that comes as part of Pakistan heritage. Because it's not known to people. Even Sri Lanka, they know what is happening in India, not here.
Yes.
So therefore, it is to bring some kind of a link, with understanding how these things can link nations,
So this is what I requested, like if these ties continue, for the future we can regroup, and not just on religious point of view, it can be on any aspect of life, as we are sort of neighbors and we're living in the same region, Southeast Asia, and we know each other problems, our economies, our joint problems. Plus this ties just to get connected and working together bring us to be more competitive for the world. I mean, the more connected we are, our region will get solidarity, not just economically but politically and financially. Yes. So it is a multi-purpose step that is being taken, and talking of the religious monks, talking of tourists, I assure we'll have such warm welcomes for them as well as we have for you people. Our brother Sri Lankans are always welcome.
with cricket.
With cricket, it might be for tourists.
Cricketer, you can see the fingers.
I remained.
දෙවිල්ලක් මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට මෙහෙට එන්නේ පහසුකම් හරි ගස්සන්න මේ රජය විසින් පොඩ පබ්ලිසිටි කරලා එහෙම ගෙන්නන්න පුළුවන් එහෙම කණ්ඩායම් ඉන්නවා කියලා ලංකාවේ එන්න බලාගෙන.
Actually, our effort will open up eyes among the administrators also to see that provide facilities, provide whatever the things required for people to come and visit. Because it's Pakistan is not known as India. Because it's not
as popular as.
Yeah.
It's about this historic connection of Sri Lanka with India.
Yeah, say example, say Afghanistan, whether Buddhism was there or not, nobody knew until say Bamiyan blasting,
Yes.
Because that brought up everybody's eye, into the thing. Because people had not seen such a long, cave temples right along, People are not aware. It's very, very unfortunate, because that is why somehow we are trying to see that, we get everything out of it, So it's, and also I prefer people drawing how this would have been. All these square ones were small stupas. I think those stupas were carrying the bodily relics of the chief monks who lived here.
Yes. Even we have a story here, like our respected monks visited Swat. I planned to receive them at Shingadara. The reason for that was there is a legend of the Buddhist. And not just that, we have local legends also. Like by then, 3rd century, King Uttarasena saw a dream. He was invited to go and collect his share of relics when they were distributing these sacred relics. And on his way back, he rode a white elephant. And in his dream, he was taught, like, wherever the white elephant stops, erect this stupa there and bury these sacred relics of the Buddha there. So they say when the elephant reached here, it sat down and turned into a stone. And from there, King Uttarasena started erecting this stupa. Yes, we have this massive, gigantic stupa over here at Shingadara. I recently acquired it, and there is some development work going on. Yes, French posting is on. So I welcome them just to share this legend. Like, if they don't know, they have to know the sacred relics of Buddha here.
Yeah, folk tales also give some idea, what has happened and things. Those are nice stories which has come from, say, father to son and gradually.
With minor changes, more or less, it's always a reality.
There is some essence in it,
Yes.
ඒ මයින්ඩ් එක චේන්ජ් කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් තමයි මේ ලංකාවේ හාමුදුරුවෝ ඉන්නවනේ. දැන් මෙහෙ කොහෙවත් බැලුවද මෙහෙ සාමාන්‍ය මිනිස්සුන්ට කතා කරාම ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ හදවත හොඳයි. හැබැයි අපිට විෂුවල් එක දීලා තියෙන්නේ මේගොල්ලෝ යුද්ධ කරන අය අරගොල්ලෝ මේගොල්ලන් කියලා. හැබැයි දැන් මේකේ මේ ලංකාවේ පාකිස්තානයේ තියෙන ප්‍රධාන තැන් තියෙන මේ වගේ චෛත්‍ය තියෙන තැන් අඩුම ගානේ මේ එක තැනක අපේ ලංකාවෙන් හරි හාමුදුරු කෙනෙක් ගෙනල්ලා එක පන්සලක් පටන් ගන්නයි කියන්නේ.
මේම වල තියෙන මෙහි තියෙනවා.
කොහෙද? මම කියන්නේ දැන් මේ අපි මේ ගිය තැන්වල මම දැක්කේ නෑ හාමුදුරු කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. එහෙම දෙන්නේ නෑ නෙමෙයි මම කියන්නේ. ඒකෙන් තමයි පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒගොල්ලන්ට කියන්න යෝජනා කරන්න කියන්නේ මේක සංගමයට රජයට එක හාමුදුරු කෙනෙක් ගෙනල්ලා එක පන්සලක් පටන් ගන්න කියලා. කියන්න බලන්න මොකද කියලා. ඒක සමගිය ඇති වෙන වැඩි.
Because it's Chinese record says there were more than 500 monasteries.
1400, sir, what I've studied is.
And say, are there any places which not yet open up?
So we actually, it happened like generally these international media channels and different other scholars keep on asking, like, if there are 1400 monasteries and more than 1000 stupas, where are they? So with the passage of time, it's been more than 1000 years, so different
stones were taken out, and
still we have this practice of stealing these monuments for the sake of money, even though we have very strict law. And I personally deal with more than 17 to 18 cases, sending people to jail. But you know, whenever there's money, there's always this greed.
Money is first, you know.
Yes, there's always this greed. And not just that, we have white Huns, we have several others who are anti-Buddhist. Even these Hindus of the later period, they destroyed everything because they have to show their dominancy. They were overpowered by these Buddhists for more than 700 to 800 years, even more. So they, while they were coming in power, they destroyed most of the things. So yet still we have a lot to see. There's a lot to explore. There's a lot to discover. But whatever we have found, in my opinion, in general, we're gradually increasing the size. At the present, when I arrived, we used to have 17 sites protected, acquired. Now we have 21. We have 22. 2 in 1. 22. Now I've raised the list to 27. We are working on it. It'll take some time. Yes.
Yeah.
We might cover up 50, maybe 100, 200, but
not all.
The issue, yes, the issue is, yes, most of them vanished. Natural catastrophes, these anti-Buddhist nations.
Human
This,
individuals.
yes, human presence is the main source of destruction of even nature. The might of nature, like we'll see forest, there's a lot of deforestation, wildlife is to be abundant. So this human activity
Gradually deteriorate things, you know.
Otherwise, last month I've been to a place, District Shangla, which also come in my domain as Malakand whole of Division. District Shangla is an old part of District Swat, the state of Swat, but now it's a separate district. I've been to a place called Shikolai, Mangwaldara, where Buner and District Swat, the current districts, not the previous state, are bordering together. And Shangla is ending. At the top of a mountain where I climbed for more than 3.5 hours, I found images of Buddha depicted on rocks there. And there was some slight damage to that. I've been working on that. The other day I received a letter from the district police officer of Shangla, like what activity is being done. So to suggest some project for that, I sent it to my director, KP. So it's a gradual process. Plus, the worst thing about Swat is here the property is very expensive. I belong to a place in the surroundings just opposite here. Luckily, I got posted by the Chief Minister because he knew me personally, like I'm a dedicated person. I served in army and I have a reputation in the management. So, talking of my place, I've seen, few months back, people acquiring some piece of land to erect some commercial plazas. You might have seen some while entering the main city area, right over there. So it's just a single square feet for 37,000 rupees. It's like this half of my finger for 37,000 rupees. See, starting here to here, 37,000. So the government, every time we acquire, we pay very little, and I have to face the headache by facing the court cases for enhancement. So there's a gradual process. This was the funny side of it, but yes.
Sri Lanka also the same, you know.
Okay.
Everybody, the commercial development, they want, they are not interested about what happened to the country, nothing, you know. If they can acquire something, they acquire it, you know. Legally or illegally, somehow it's done.
So we are working on that and working on encroachments also. But still the problem is we are poor nations. If I see somebody who's been to Saudi Arabia and has worked there for 25 years and all he managed to do with that money is to marry his daughter and son and build a small house on a cliff which carries some ancient remains. So I might think 10 times before demolishing his house.
You can't do that, you know.
Yes. So we have to compromise on different things.
Archaeology is there in the university, you know.
Archaeology, yes. Even in colleges.
පොඩි කාලේ
They are taught in schools also.
ස්කූල්
Yes, not as a subject, but different chapters. Just because, it's all archaeology here, all natural beauty and archaeology, nothing else you'll find. And some good people who are very hospitable, unfortunately being pointed out as, I don't know what their story was. But Pathans being generally are and traditionally are known as to be very hospitable, and history tells if you seek shelter with a Pathan, he'll die first before he let any hands coming to you.
Sorry to interfere.
පොඩි කාලේ උගන්වන්නේ බෞද්ධ දර්ශනයක් හැටියට මේවා උගන්වනවද නැත්නම් කලාවක් හැටියට කලාවක් හැටියට
According to our colleague,
Hello sir, I'm Waqas Harun, correspondent of Daily Chand and Sports Story. I'm working as a journalist from last 7 years, and also I'm a teacher. So you were talking with sir that as here is archaeology teach. So according to my mind, and I have seen and I have studied and teach archaeology more than 3 years here in schools. So nowadays the government is focusing on archaeology, and this is the another subject of school subjects. You can find many subjects in school here, but archaeology is the another one. So nowadays it started and another subject as a part of study.
Because I always say, if somebody wants to do a new design, there are only two inspirations that they can have. One is nature, the other one is culture. Nature and culture, that is the place where you can get things. This is actually, irrespective whether it is Buddhist or whatever it is heritage of this country.
yes, of course.
That is what is really impressive. Then say it's not belong to anybody, it's belong to Pakistan, right? To show off, because you have presently 6 World Heritage Sites. In Sri Lanka we have 7 police. Sri Lanka is so small, because of how we really show our things to the world. Say Candivan, I who prepared the report for UNESCO World Heritage, and wherever I was in China, I think about 5 World Heritage in China, I who recommended, 2 in Tibet, 5 in Korea. Those are they highlight things. It's not only one. Can be the whole Swat city. The Swat region comes under one. So all this will then pick up. So then people will get to know how things happen, because World Heritage means how man has achieved many things in the past. It's nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with anything, but religion is the one that really promoted things, but it's achievements of human beings. Therefore all these are very important, whatever it is. And also should have writing, the books and publications for people to know. For this one, we again thought, after going round, we'll prepare I told the High Commissioner, coffee table book with all the pictures. Some people, they don't like to read, but when they see things, they get ideas.
Yes, photographic message too is.
Yes. Other people not able. See, as an example, when we went to where we get the sleeping Buddha, the large one. Bamala, behind that sleeping Buddha one, it's not actually sleeping Buddha. It is in the Buddha in deathbed, because one knee twisted out. Normally, when he was sleeping, arranging it straight. When at the deathbed, it was slightly shifted. right? And it is shown. There is a small stucco sculpture, beautifully preserved, showing the same thing. All what we have is, say, robe in the showering one shoulder. They are both shoulders. How all the rapes and come up into, was beautifully preserved. By picking up those things, I think we can show the whole, say, Buddhist world and the whole world what kind of things would have been there originally. I think that I don't mind even proposing somebody from Sri Lankan Archeology Survey to be here in, say, restoring the Buddha statue, because our people have done a lot.
Yeah, sharing experience.
Yeah, that's right. So when they are here, they will say, no, this is how it should be done, this is what we did, and gradually use that experience in getting something in a purpose.
Small distance and appears to be different from a different angle. Yes, it's all. But why this seated Buddha in Dhyana Mudra at Jahanabad appears to be the same from each and every angle, even from bottom, from top, from a distance.
Yeah, because there in sculptural science, there was one area called providing for optical illusion. Normally if it is a tall Buddha statue, they build is going higher, right? Then when we look at it, it's straight. So even Taj Mahal, all the lettering, if you measure what is at the bottom, what is at the top, ones are bigger. But when you look, it's same to the top, because there's an optical illusion. They knew that. They measured for it and then did accordingly. See, if the same thing is reduced, you get a distortion. You can't reduce it because it is for the height only they have given it. The sciences have definitely evolved at that time.
No, they do. I mean, talking of the development of science,
Yeah.
like the wall talk of Burj Arab, when it was established, I was a teenager, was taken there, and the same was bigger at the bottom. I was a kid, I was taken to Bangkok, went with my family. I saw MBK, this is called a shopping mall that we heard of. It's such a massive structure, was different from different angles. And these masterpieces, even if you look from the top, you're with a drone or with your naked eye, from the front, from the angle, it's always there.
මේ අරකට කියන්නේ ඩ්‍රෝන් එක ගන්න
මේ ඩ්‍රෝන් එක ගලව මෙතන ක්ලික් කරනවා. ඒ වගේම දැන් මට ගිය තැන්වල මෙයා තමයි පොඩි වේදනාවක් මෙයා සඳහා පොරිම නිකන් කියන්නේ සර් කියන්න මෙයාට යෝජනා කරන්න එයාට පුළුවන් හැකියාවෙන් මෙයා මේ ඩීටේල් ටික ෆොටෝ ගාලා ආරම්භ කරලා ඩීටේල් වයිස් සර්ට එවන්න කියලා අර හදන පොතට. හරි මේ පොත අනිවාර්යෙන් හදමු සර්. නැත්නම් අපරාධයක් වෙනවා. මොකද මේ පික්චර් දේවල් තියෙන එකේ ඒ සර් පොත හදන්න. ඒ පොත හදන්න සර්. එතකොට මෙයාට කියන්න පුළුවන් තරම් මෙහෙන් ඒකට සපෝට් එකක් දෙන්න කියලා. එයාට කියන්නේ එතකොට එයා මේ රජයටත් මෙයාගේ තව මේ පාකිස්තානයේ ඇතින සංගම් මෙයාට ඒ සංගම් වල කට්ටියත් එකතු කරගෙන සපෝට් එක දෙන්න කියන පොත.
Thank you so much. Your details are very important about this place. Last Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, visited to Sri Lanka last month and met Sri Lanka President, Sri Lanka Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. At that time, she requested to the will visit to Pakistan because there are these countries, this country, so many historical places belong to Buddhism.
Yes.
Therefore, Sri Lanka Buddhist people sent to the Pakistan and see like this place, and this place also the places are very historical because important to Sri Lanka Buddhist people. Actually, we are like to this journey because we are visited to so many places like this. All of places are very, very important and historical. I'm saying as Buddhist, actually I am Buddhist monk, like Pakistan country. They are protecting very important as places. Yeah, thanks, Prime Minister, and like you and all the Pakistan people.
Respected monk, extremely pleased with your kind words. All I would say is it's an honor to have you people here, and you people along with your tourists, your nationals, Sri Lankan nationals, any Buddhist from any part of the world is always welcome. And as I mentioned earlier, we people are known as to be very hospitable and very kind, and we love guests.
Thank you very much.
Real pleasure.
I am film director Sri Lanka. I like all things. Thank you very much.
Real pleasure.